Thank you, Madam President and members. It is an honor to commemorate, a sad honor to commemorate the 108th anniversary of the Armenian Genocide and to be one of the authors of Senate Resolution 28, which reaffirms California's recognition of the Armenian Genocide. Some of us have heard the firsthand accounts of the genocide and some of us may not, and so I will share some of those observations from genocide survivors with your permission, Madam President. It was a nightmare in Dalvor when a 12-year-old's family were warned of the proximity of the Ottoman soldiers. She fled with her mother and her 8-year-old brother to a hill above the village to hide their valuables and wait for the rest of their family to join them. But as dawn came, a massacre erupted. They watched as soldiers beheaded her father and stabbed her 2-year-old nephew before turning on the boy's mother, who was 7 months pregnant. The three of them returned to the village the following night to bury the dead. Quote, "The scene was hellish. We put the killed baby on my sister's chest and covered them with stones. But we couldn't find my father's corpse," wrote the woman, recounting the story told to her by her grandmother. When asked about his mother, a survivor said, "My dreams cannot mourn her. They are deferred. I did not have enough energy to mourn her." Another survivor said, "She didn't shed a tear when her family was slaughtered." And years later, when she was asked why, she said, "Have you ever seen a stone crying? Have you ever seen a stone crying?" These are just a few firsthand experiences that were published in The Guardian in 2015, and many of them are similar to what the people of Artsakh have been experiencing since the 2020 war. 108 years later, the successor states of the genocide perpetrators, Turkey and Azerbaijan, continue their aggression against the Armenian people. While Armenia and Artsakh have tried to recover from the 2020 war, attacks on the border and violations of human rights have not stopped. The imprisonment of Armenian POWs and civilians and the systematic destruction of Armenian cultural and religious sites is part of this ongoing brutal campaign and, frankly, ethnic cleansing against the indigenous Armenian population of Artsakh. Artsakh has been under blockade for over 90 days. And just yesterday, on the eve of April 24th, which is the day the genocide started 108 years ago, on the eve, Azerbaijan set up their own checkpoint at the Lashin corridor, the only road connecting Armenia with Artsakh, to continue this inhumane blockade. Now, as the only state or federal elected representative from the U.S. who has actually gone to Artsakh since the 44-day war, I witnessed firsthand the destructive impact the war had on a peaceful people. I met with wounded soldiers and I prayed at memorials sadly filled with weeping, mourning families. It was a deeply emotional experience that has me angry and determined to speak up. And earlier this year, I worked with colleagues in the Armenian community to lead efforts calling on the White House to take action against Azerbaijan by immediately ending military assistance and requesting humanitarian aid. So the lessons from 108 years ago, the lessons of the genocide, the reason why we're here today to again commemorate and proclaim California's solidarity is critical that we move beyond these words and take action to help. Now, California is home to the largest Armenian American population in the country, and this community has made significant contributions to the 25th Senate District and our great state. And I'm honored to represent this vibrant community and stand in solidarity with all those who continue to advocate for justice and peace. We have a moral obligation to not only condemn all genocides and violations of human rights, but also to hold the perpetrators accountable in order to have a more peaceful and just world for generations, this one and future ones. Hishumenk Yev Bahanjum, Adzvats Orne. With that, I respectfully ask for an aye vote on Senate Resolution 28.